Hello. Now, I want to talk about a fear of needles and injections, or a phobia of needles and injections. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about my experience with this, because this used to be a huge, huge phobia of mine, to the point that I would regularly faint when I needed to have an injection. I have so many memories as a child of fainting, waking up, or coming round with people kind of like feeding me food. And I used to go to Paris a lot as a child because my family were there. And I can't remember how many times I remember being woken up, being dangling upside down by my ankles and my grandmother feeding me a croissant. So this has always been a really big deal for me. And I remember when I was at school, I would, we had to have our injections as teenage girls, and I would hyperventilate and get like really freak out when I knew that there was an injection coming. And so this has always been a huge, huge problem of mine. Now, when I first was developing head trash, I decided to try using it on myself with my needle phobia when I was pregnant, and in a midwife appointment, my very first midwife appointment. And she said to me, as part of the intake, and the first thing that you do when you're pregnant was, oh, we're going to, do all the injections. And I remember thinking at that point, all the injections, I think my eyes popped out on sticks at that point. And I didn't think she noticed this huge change that suddenly came over me at the prospect that I was now about to have some injections. I couldn't really hear anything else that she was saying after that, because I was now obsessing and panicking over the fact that imminently I was not going to have just one injection, but quite a lot of them, from the way that she was talking. So she said, then we got to the time when I had to have the injection. She said, oh, well, you go and wait outside while I get all the needles ready, which did not help me at all. So it was while I was outside, while she was getting all the needles ready, I thought, shit, I've really got to sort this out, because this is a nightmare. This is a total nightmare. So I decided to try and get rid of my needle phobia while I was waiting in the corridor in the hospital. So I didn't have very long, because actually when she said all the needles, she was just talking about 3 or 4, which was a lot for me at that point. So I had it maybe 5 minutes most. And so I gave it a go. And then I got called back in. So I didn't know if it had worked. I didn't know, I didn't know how that was going to go. And then she called me and she sat me down. She said, oh, so are you scared of needles? Probably judging from the reaction that I had before going in. And I was like, nope. And then I was like, in my head, like, who the hell said that? Did I just say that? Because it was an instant no. I didn't think about it. It was just a reaction. So that caught me by surprise massively. So it was a no. And I was thinking, part of me was like, okay, here I am putting my arm out, ready for my injections. And she said, oh, I thought you were. I said, no, I used to be, but not anymore. And she goes, okay, what did you do? And I was like, well, I'm not going to tell her that. She's going to think I'm crazy. Because I literally was just doing my technique in the corridor on my own. And so we had the injections, and I'd never had the experience of sitting there with my arm out, not fainting, not freaking out. This is a whole new experience for me. I was in my late 30s, have an injection, and everything seemed to be quite normal. So we finished the 3, 4 injections, whatever it was, and then that was it. And then as a result of those injections, I was told that I was needed regular injections or blood draws every month. So I had different midwives taking my blood every month, and I don't know, different one every time. And one of them, I think after 2, whatever, she said, you've got to be one of the calmest people I've ever taken blood from. And I remember thinking, are you having a laugh? If only you'd known me. Like when I was younger, I used to just be the mess, the one that used to collapse all the time, faint, panic, freak out, need to take a day off work to recover from my panic attacks. That was me all over. And here I was, I'd spent less than 5 minutes getting rid of my fear in a hospital corridor, and it just collapsed it to the ground, and that was it. And since then, which was now nearly 12 years ago, because my daughter's going to be 12, I've still fine with needles. And on my second pregnancy, I needed acupressure because my baby was a bit late. So we thought acupuncture might bring her along. And it was only when I was lying on the bed in the acupuncturer's office that they said, oh, just checking in with you. Do you have a needle phobia? And I kind of had to go, oh, hang on a minute. I've worked on my fear with one needle going in my body, but how do I feel about lots of needles going in my body? And I hadn't really given that a lot of thought. And I kind of checked in with myself and it was like, no, you're good. Pincushion, you can be a pincushion, not a problem. And it was completely fine. And so to this day, I'm still 12 years later, that 5 minutes of doing that fear clearance work on myself has eliminated that phobia completely for me. So I just want to share, if this is something that you're going through, then you absolutely can do something about it. Now, not everyone has the budget to want to work with somebody one-to-one, so I've made this super easy for you if you want to use the way that I did it and clear this for yourself. So I've created an audio track which enables you to do the fear clearance on your own, at home, in your own time, and you can listen to it as many times as you want. I don't think you'll need to listen to it more than twice, to be honest. It depends what's your fear like. Now, I want to talk a little bit about needle phobia, because among those in the know, therapists that specialise in getting rid of phobias, it's known to be one of the more stubborn of phobias that typically can't be shifted. So this is why I was even more surprised that I was able to shift my phobia. And there are different aspects to the fear for different people. So I'll just talk about those for a minute. There's the pain aspect, so your skin being prickled or penetrated or whatever you want to call that. So there's the pain part. Then there's the kind of the sight of blood, maybe your blood leaving the body, seeing if it's a blood draw, seeing the needle fill up with blood. Maybe it's the glint of the needle and the sharpness of it that bothers you. Maybe it's the sight of the blood. Some people are very queasy seeing blood, the drips that you see afterwards. Maybe it's this pushing of stuff in. There are different aspects to the fear. So when I did my clearance, I didn't need to focus on any of those. I literally just focused on the fact that I was terrified of needles. But you might be different. So yours might have pain as part of that fear. There might be other aspects to it. It might be the sight of blood as well. So the fear clearance that I've prepared sort of incorporates those other key elements as well, just in case those feature as part of your fear. Now, if you want to do more than this as part of a fear clearance, let's say you're pregnant and you've got a needle phobia, but you've also got lots of other fears that you want to deal with, or you've got health fears or whatever's going on, you've got more than one thing you want to deal with, then that audio track is also in my membership, the Clearance Club, which includes like a vault of tracks and other clearances by life themes. So there's many other things there you can start tackling if you want to reduce your anxiety, reduce your stress, improve your sleep, find a place of calmness, get to a happy place basically. Then the Clearance Club is probably a more sensible route to go for you, because you access a lot more than just one track. And I will put both the links to those below so that you can make a decision on what you prefer. And of course, if you do want to work one-to-one with me, then that option is also available to you. But I would urge you to go down the audio route, because there's no reason why that can't work. But also, there's no guarantee that it will work, because this is a stubborn phobia that a lot of specialists in this have trouble shifting. However, having said that, I've got lots and lots of clients who've used this and they feel much better and they're able to have injections and it's all fine. So we're all different. There is never any guarantee with any mind work. The best you can do is just try as many things as possible and just hope that they work with you. And if you find something that does work with you, then use it on other stuff, right? Kind of just rinse, repeat, so you can start clearing lots and lots of stuff within you so that you can be a happier person all around. So I hope that this gives you hope if you've got a needle phobia or injection phobia. And like I said, I'll pop the links below so that you can get hold of that and experience being fear-free for yourself when it comes to needles and injections. If you've got any questions, pop them below and I'll be more than happy to come back to you. Okay, bye for now.